Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I will be dropping off a few questionable leaks that could possibly give some foresight into some things going on during 4.2. Right, now keep in mind this is questionable, and yes, this will be a norm from now on. Now that basically all of the reliable leakers have decided to quit or at least take a break, it means that we are left with the scraps, and we need to deal with people who do not have the highest or most known of track records, or are just popping up out of nowhere to see if they can build a track record that is good enough for people to trust them, right? So please take this with a grain of salt once again, right? So the newest leak that we have gotten is Silverwolf's test team. Now, a leak like this getting out isn't too unbelievable, considering Anon was able to leak, what's it called? Not Yao Guang's, sorry, Evanesia's team as well, right? The preset team, which was EMC, Yao Guang, and Buffed Huo. So this Silverwolf test team is using Sparksy, EMC, and Buffed Huo, right? Now, people are already running away with this and saying Yao Guang won't be best in slot, but there is a bit of a catch here, which is they added a note of which they said EMC's kit is really similar to Yao Guang, right? So with this being the case, it would make sense that EMC is a free-to-play alternative to Yao Guang and hypercarry, considering the current leaked Herda cone in the beta, and Yao Guang is that upgraded AoE option, exactly like going from RMC to Cyrene, right? Now, you can say this is cope. I don't care what any of you believe, right? I will be proven wrong once we get the 4.2 beta, if that ends up being the case and I'm wrong. However, I truthfully don't think I will be, because I've already based a lot of my assumptions not off of pure speculation, but actually going out of my way to see just how synergistic Yao Guang would be, especially paired in a team alongside Sparksy. I do think EMC will be the next best alternative to Yao Guang, but EMC will not be best in slot, and the reason EMC is in these preset teams, both of them, is because they're trying to test EMC, right? It's obvious, EMC is just now coming out in this patch, so they obviously want to test them with the newest Elation DPSs that are releasing. And this isn't like the most cope thing in the world. Preset teams don't always have best in slot teams, right? For those who don't remember, because it's been quite a while since then, the first preset team leak for Cassie was her in duo DPS with My Day, and I went hard as fuck on my YouTube channel trying to tell people there is zero way in hell that this is actually supposed to be her best in slot team. They were likely just temporarily testing it and then decided to do something else, because very clearly RMC is more synergistic with Cassie, and Cassie being ran hyper carry, right? But people wanted to argue against me because the preset team leak existed, just for me to be right. And even though you could run them together and it did work, it was not Cassie's strongest team. I think that exact same scenario is happening here. They are just testing EMC to see, you know, what should they do with his kit? What should he do? How do they make him slightly worse than Yao Guang and not overshadow Yao Guang as a free character? And how do they make sure that Yao Guang is still good enough to where they can sell her on a rerun on 4.3? And especially because it's very clear that Silverwolf's team is supposed to have a AoE buffer, since you're running a sub DPS and probably in the future you're going to get an Elation sustain. Why would you use EMC, who is a hyper carry buffer, right? And if his kit is similar to Yao Guang, how could he be better than Yao Guang if you are one of these people trying to say he'd be better than Yao Guang, right? I think this entire thing is weird. So outside of that, we can now move on to something else. Now this leak is about 4.2 and new additions to the golden token shop, which we get on anniversaries and seemingly possibly also at the end of planets, and new additions to the 50/50 lost characters which you can choose from, right? So let me start off with the 50-50 losses so I can blue ball you guys a little longer. The 50-50 loss characters, according to this leak, are Dill, Argenti, and Jing Yuan. These three will be added for you to be able to choose if you want to have the chance of losing your 50-50 to them. This is pretty good. I would like to think that Dill is probably going to get a buff in this version or early in version 5 because, I mean, he's old enough at this point and he's also probably the more popular one between all of these. So I think it'd make the most sense to buff him as there's probably more people who have Dill than have Jing Yuan and Argenti, right? And after this, we finally get to the golden token editions, or the golden token shop. So the editions are Robin and Huohuo, according to this leak. Wow, right? That's probably a nuke for a lot of you people to hear. But if this leak does end up being accurate, if they do end up being true, then yes, right? We will get Robin and Huohuo on the Golden Companion shop on the anniversary. This also means that we are obviously going to get one of these tokens because it's the anniversary, meaning Huohuo is free, right? If you really want to, Huohuo is free, Eidolons and Huohuo are free, you can get Robin or Robin Eidolons, which are also pretty strong, and wow, right? Keep in mind, I'm being speculative of this myself. Right, I am being speculative. However, I don't think it's that out of this world since they did just do buff Sparkle and then also give her for free at the same time on the selector. I wouldn't be surprised if they did do this on 4.2. And it's like, man, HSR has been on an insane run. I'll hold my tongue a little longer until we can maybe get more leakers confirming this, or, you know, we get actual official confirmation. But if it comes out officially and it gets confirmed, or other leakers are able to vouch for it that are reliable, this game is on a generational run, right? Shit is fantastic as of late. It's hard for me to put into words, you can probably tell. Like, it's been so fucking good lately with the free characters. If they also do this, which allows a lot of people to get into like Evanescence and Silverwolf teams, it'll be probably the greatest thing they've ever done, right? Because you have EMC, you already got free buff Sparkle, you can now even get free Huohuo. Literally, all you have to do is pick up an Evanescence and Yao Guang, and you have an entire Elation team from 4.2. It's pretty cheap, right? So let me know what you guys think about all this. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.